Alright, let's do this.
There may be hope after all. All right then. I won't hold back. Show me what you got, kid!
Raw Metal is a blend between the core mechanics of stealth and beat-em-up games. The game was developed by the small indie dev team called Team Crucible. The team consists of Corrigan Owen, who is the creative director and designer, Zachary Wilson, the lead programmer and composer, Pavel Kuzulia, who had the role of technical artist, James Stokes, the environment artist and community manager of the game, and lastly Jordan Harshaw, animator, sound designer and voice actor for the main protagonist you play. The very first concepts for the game can be traced back to 2021 when Corrigan released the short animation film called Raw Metal, which you probably already guessed. Through this short animation we can see the very first designs for the lead character and the guards who protect the mines from unwanted visitors, which are somewhat simplistic but nonetheless aesthetically pleasing to watch. The animation, lighting and voice acting are pretty good for a single man project, but I think we can all say that the whole concept feels a little bit too raw for now. For it to be more refined, we'll have to wait 3 more years when the game got officially released on itch.io and Steam. During this period of time, Team Crucible worked day and night on the game and even posted some sneak peeks and proof of concept videos of the game on their Patreon, which you can now view for free on the official Raw Metal YouTube channel. So if you're interested in game development, I suggest you give it a watch. The analysis of the game will be structured in 3 parts. The first part is going to be a complete overview of the gameplay and its mechanics. Secondly, we'll examine the art direction of the game, more precisely the art style, animation, voice acting, and OST. Lastly, we'll analyze the story lore scattered around the world of Raw Metal. When starting for the first time a run, you'll be thrown into the tutorial area of the game, which as you can see is the outside of the mining complex. Here will be shown the basic mechanics of the game. The first one on the list is the ability to conceal yourself in the shadows. Next on our list are the basics of combat. Our character can perform 4 basic attacks, a quick punch or kick, or a hard punch or kick. You probably already noticed, but during a combat encounter, you will have a sort of style meter on the top left of your screen. You can increase it by hitting the guards multiple times and performing special combos, which I will talk soon. Be careful though, if you get hit, the stall metal will reset. Another thing to take note is that the guards are able to regenerate health if left unharmed for a while. After a guard reaches 0 health, they will enter a sort of stunned, weakened state in which you can permanently feint them by hitting them with a hard attack. After defeating a guard, you can loot them. The loot that you get from them depends on how well you did in the fight, so remember to be efficient and always find yourself in advantageous fights. Moving forward, we have the ability to sneak attack the guards. If you succeed, the guard will have much less base HP, and therefore the fight will be much more easier. During this brawl, we will learn 2 of the most important things in the game, dodging and parrying. Whenever a guard is going to attack you, a red triangle with an exclamation mark will appear. Parrying is harder, but much more rewarding. If you're able to execute it, you will stun the enemy for a short while and be able to dish out a lot of damage. Of course, the risk of doing this is that if you fail the parry, you will 100% get hit in the process. Moving forward, we have the combos that you can perform during combat. During a brawl, your character can chain together up to 3 basic attacks from the ones mentioned earlier. As an example, you can perform 2 heavy punches and 1 light kick. After this, the combo chain will reset and you will start again from the beginning. If your third attack of the chain is a heavy attack, then you will launch in the air the guard. In this position, you'll be able to do 2 things. You can A. Juggle the guard in the air with light attacks, or B. Perform a heavy attack and send them flying in the opposite direction. Which approach you take will depend by the situation you find yourself in and the environment surrounding you and the enemy. I'm stating this because the last move you can perform on a guard is a wall splat. If a guard is close to a wall, you will have the chance to push them against the wall with any type of attack. By doing this, you will splat them on the wall, making them vulnerable for a brief time. During this period, you'll be able to dish a lot of damage without any retaliation. Lastly, guards are able to build up heat when in a fight. Heat is a crucial mechanic of the game, which forces the player to change up constantly their combat combos, making every fight unique. If a guard has a high level of heat, a red popped vein icon will show up on top of the guard's head. Whenever this happens, there is a high chance for them to parry your attack and counter-attack with a baton bash. To reset their heat, the player has to perform a parry. After this short introduction to the basics of combat and stealth, we can talk about the many different gadgets you can find in the mines. The first one that I will talk about is the taser dart. It's the most versatile of the bunch, since that you can do multiple things with it. Firstly, you can use it to stun the guards during combat or stealth. Secondly, the darts can be used to periodically neutralize electronic gadgets, such as the lights in the mines, so you can slip by the guards in the darkness or to set up an ambush on them. Next on our list is the concussion grenade. As the name suggests, it's a grenade used to knock away enemies. In combat, it's a great tool to create some breathing space between you and the guards. It can even be used to get a free wall splat on the guards if they are cornered to a wall, or to break their defensive stance when they're on high heat. During stealth, you can use it to shortly stun multiple people chasing you, giving you the opportunity to hide away in a safer section of the mine. Moving forward on our gadget list, we have the noise maker. When thrown, this gadget will make a loud noise, alerting any guard nearby. During stealth, it can be used to distract guards and draw them to a particular location, making it easier to slip by or to initiate a sneak attack on them. For combat, it can be used to rile up the guards in performing an immediate attack on you, which seems counterproductive at first. But seeing that you know that an attack is coming, you can with much ease parry it and retaliate with a lot of damage. Another trick up our sleeve is the electromagnet. It's a sort of mine that can make guards stuck and unable to do anything for a whole 15 seconds, or until you hit them. A thing to take note is that the electromagnet works as a double-edged sword, because even you can get stuck if you step on it. So be careful where you place them. Their placement is crucial too, because if they are easily visible because of a source of light, then the guards will not step on them. During the stealth section, they are a great tool to perform an easy sneak attack on guards who are on patrol. The last gadget that you can find in the mines is the Terror module, one of the most interesting and out-of-this-world tools at your disposal. It's a sort of throwable sphere, which can be used to teleport anything that it hits in a random location of the mines, including you and the guards. During combat encounters, you can use it in 2 ways. Whenever a fight feels unbeatable, you can draw it under yourself, so you teleport out of the fight and essentially escape the guards. Another way to use it is to throw it against one of the guards. Doing this, the guard that was hit by the module will teleport out of the fight, giving you more breathing room, seeing that you will need to fight one less opponent. For stealth, you can use the gadget to displace a guard during his patrols in the mines. If you don't know how you could sneak around a guard without being spotted, you can just chug one of the modules onto him and have the way clear to go to the next room. Be careful though, the teleported guard will come back to the location that they were patrolling or guarding, so be quick with whatever you have to do. Another type of equipment that you can find in the excavation site are gears for your own character. They are subdivided in 4 types: headgear, chestplate, gloves, and boots. The gears that you can find can give you different boosts in combat or stealth. The gear can be found in different types of state. It can be found in a pristine or broken state. If broken, the stat bonuses are reduced, or in other cases, they can give you debuffs too. This means that whenever you pick up a new piece of gear, you should always check in what state it is. Having finished with the gadgets, I think you can talk about the different districts that you can find in the mines. Each area of the mines is divided in 3 levels and a sub-level, where the boss of the zone resides. The first level of each zone contains the lounge, a room which contains different furniture and vending machines. Here you can find the gear exchange. With this sort of vending machine, you can exchange one of your armor gears and Grimite for another piece of gear, which usually is much better compared to the gear you trade away. Oh yeah, Grimite is the currency of this game, with which you can do different things, one of which I just now explained. On every second level of each sector, you'll be able to find the contraband station. Whenever you get knocked out by the guards, they will confiscate all of your gear you were holding. The consumable gadgets and Grimite will be irretrievable. Luckily for us, the gear that we were using during the failed expedition won't go missing as the rest of your items. The guards will take all of it to the contraband station for a brief period of time, so whenever you get your ass handed by the guards, the first place that you should probably visit is this station, so you can retrieve your gear back. The longer you take to reach this room, the higher the probability that the gear will be broken or even gone, because the guards will scrap it if deemed useless. On the last level of each zone, you will find the forge. As the name suggests, this is an area in which you can repair, upgrade and replenish the armor of each gear with Grimite, or scrap useless gear and gadgets to gain some Grimite back. Armor in this game works as a sort of extra life point, meaning that you can sustain more hits during the fight. The only difference between armor and the character's health point is that whenever you conclude a combat engagement, your health points will replenish, but the armor won't. Weight is the last character mechanic of this game. Every item that you hold except for Grimite has a weight factor to it. If you exceed the weight of 23 kilograms, your character will start to move much more slowly and make more noise whenever moving. The weight can even affect you in combat, because the more weight your character has to bear, then the more time he will need to wind up an attack against the foes. In each level of the game, you'll be able to find 3 types of keycards. The most essential one is the elevator access card, which is used to go down to the next level of the mines. The other 2 cards that you can find are the storage access card, that grants you access to a room filled with loot for your taking, and a card which opens up the room for one of the 3 stations mentioned before. The first area that you have to go through is the surface of the mines. It's the only section of the game which doesn't abide by the rule of 3 levels and a sub-level, but contains only one, where you go through the tutorial of the game. The next area of the game is called the upper crust. Here is where the real game starts. The upper crust contains 2 run-of-the-mill guards. They can perform only one type of attack, which is a swing with the bat. If caught alone, they are easy to dispatch, but in larger groups, they can be a pain to deal with. So always try to isolate them one by one. Another type of guard you can find in this region is the taser guard. He comes with the regular baton and a special wrist device, which can shoot taser darts that can stun you for a period of time. The only way to not get hit by the dart is to do a perfect dodge when the guard is about to shoot, which is indicated again by a triangle with an exclamation mark. When in stealth, if they spot you, they will try to hit you with a taser shot, so they can catch you and initiate a fight. The special hazard of this zone are the security cameras scattered around this section of the mines. If you enter in their cone of vision, they will blare an alarm sound, alerting every guard in the level of your exact position. Even if you're hidden in the darkness, the camera will still spot you, thanks to the infrared vision installed on them. Your only option to deal with them is to sneak around their vision or to disable them momentarily with a well-placed taser dart. The next area of the game is called Metric Undergrowth. Here we will find a new type of guard, called the Radar Guard. In combat, they are identical to your regular guard in the mines. However, during the stealth phase of the game, they'll be your biggest inconvenience. That's because they have a sonar device which sweeps the area around them. Whenever you're close to one of these guards, you'll be able to see a green circle around them, which is the area of effect of their sonar. If for some reason you find yourself in this radius and touch the light green line, the guard will be notified of your presence and run towards your position, while alerting any nearby guard of your presence. An additional thing to keep in mind is that the sonar detection works even through walls. The new hazard in this zone, which substitutes the camera, are puddles of water. I know this doesn't sound as intimidating as the other things, but hear me out. If for some godforsaken reason you decide to step on them, your character movement noise will be amplified by a lot, compared to the normal movement on solid terrain. Even sneaking around the puddle will make some noise, so try to avoid this terrain as much as possible, because there are no real benefits to walking on it. The last area of the game is called Executive Operations. Here you will find the last class of guard, the Elite Guard. You can easily distinguish them from the regular guard, because the Elite Guard sports a more reinforced helmet, a big pauldron on their right shoulder, and neon red colors over their armor. Combat-wise, their health pool is double compared to the other guards, and can perform a double baton bash from time to time, making them deadly opponents, even when fighting them one-on-one. The hazards of this region are automated doors, which are highlighted by an orange light above them. Only guards can open these doors, meaning that we will need to sneak behind them if we want to gain access to the room. Another way to deal with these doors is to defeat every guard on the level. By doing this, all of the automated doors will open permanently, and you will have free access to all of the rooms. If you ever get stuck in a room with only automated doors, you have the option to knock on the doors. The noise made by this action will attract any guards nearby, making them open the door and check what was the source of the noise. I think after this long analysis of the gameplay of Raw Metal, we can have a chat about the art direction of the game. It has a great sci-fi aesthetic to it, which is mixed up with a bit of heavy construction and claustrophobic vibes. To start off, we can have a look at the character model we're playing as. In my opinion, it's one of the best representations of a scavenger deep in the mines. The first details that anyone will probably first notice are the hard hat at the top of their head and the old gas mask model around their face, which they probably stole from one of the workers during the day shift. The coolest detail on the mask are probably the white eye lenses on them, since that they are perfectly visible even in completely dark areas, giving you the feeling of being a predator who's ready to pounce on his prey at any moment notice. The whole attire of the scavenger gives off the vibes of a person who's barely scraping by with his raids and is extremely resourceful. This is accentuated by the fact that his shoulder pauldrons are of different size. They use a rudimentary taser launcher and armor plates who are barely stitched together. His body shape is extremely slick, giving you the feeling that he really isn't that type of person who is able to always win one-on-one fights, and for that exact reason, he has to fight dirty through the use of his gadgets. Last thing to notice is that his suit is as dark as possible, so he can hide in the shadows with much more ease. On the other spectrum, we have the model of the guards. The armor design looks much more polished, clean and standardized compared to the Scavenger one. This is because they work for a company and have to probably follow standard procedures and guidelines on how to take care of their armor. A thing that you probably notice is that the armor plates are much more thick and bulky, giving them the protection needed to face off the various hazards in the mines and to fight off any intruder in the area. The colors of the armor are much more brighter compared to the Scavenger, probably because they can be easier to spot if there is an accident during their shift, like a collapse of the ceiling. Another thing that I really enjoyed about this game is the voice acting. Usually small indie game studios don't have the fortune or time to hire voice actors for their projects, and if they can, it's usually not that good. This time I was proven wrong from the looks of it. It has some really funny and witty dialogue, which will make you laugh from time to time. It really shows that they really loved working on this project, seeing that the voices are never too monotone but full of life and energy. The only thing I wish is that there was more voice variety for the guards. In the game there are only 2 male voices and a single female one, which isn't a lot for this type of character. The ideal for me would be 3 male and 3 female voices for the guard character. Since that the game was developed by a small indie studio, I think that we can cut some slack to them, but I still think that another female voice for the guard would have made the guard's voice a little bit less stale. Another important part of the art direction of a game is its soundtrack. I think that the developers once again hit the mark with it. The first track that you'll probably hear is Gear Up, seeing that it plays whenever you are in the main menu or choosing your gear when starting a run. This track starts off with a slow synth tempo, accompanied by a soft guitar riff, but whenever selecting a piece of equipment, the music and riff becomes livelier, giving you the itch to start the run and enjoy it to the fullest. I would even say that it's a good intro to the whole OST, because it gives you the basis on how the other songs will play out. Each region of the mines has a track, which has the same name of the stage that have been implemented. All of them are divided into two parts, one for stealth and the other for when you get spotted. The stealth one is much more peaceful and calm, giving you almost a false sense of calmness, which is sometimes disturbed by fast, high-pitched notes, which bring you back to the reality that you are all alone, raiding the mines of a secretive company, and the stakes are high. After you get spotted, the music completely shifts gears and goes much faster. It didn't yet reach that level of fighting music yet, but gives more of a feeling attuned to a cat and mouse game between you and the guards of the facility. All of these three songs then converge to the track called The Approach. This time the music goes harder and has a high octane tone to it, giving you the energy and will to fight your way through the brawl. Last but not least, we have the animations of the game. To begin with, the punches, kick and baton swings are way smoother and fluid compared to the ones in the short animation film. They have much more weight to it and feel less clunky. The absolute best part of the fights are probably the intros when doing a sneak attack or even when getting caught by a guard. There are quite a few of these, and they never feel too repetitive or stale when they pop up. Some notable examples are suplexing a guard, kicking a guard on the leg and comboing it with a punch to the face, punching the guard so hard that he flies on the opposite direction, getting tackled by the guard, and getting grabbed by the collar of the shirt and being pulled back. Overall, quite a unique and cool art style that I haven't seen yet in other games and which I hope other developers will explore and expand on it. Finally, we reach the part that is most intriguing to analyze and talk, which is the lore of the game. The game takes place on a barren exoplanet called Charybdis. The planet was first discovered by a mega corporation that goes by the name of Orpheus Technologies. The mega corporation found a rich deposit of a new ore, named Grimite. Because of this discovery, they decided to set up lots of mining facilities on the surface of the planet, so they can extract the material and produce many types of indestructible tools. The whole gameplay from Metal occurs in one of the mining facilities that goes by the name of Catabase 6. As you already seen from the gameplay, you play as a nameless scavenger of the mines. What are you doing on this arid planet? We can't say anything with certainty, but seeing that we are a sort of scavenger, we're probably here to profit off and gain a part of the riches that can be found in this mining facility. The base of operations of Scav is an excavator that is called the Cicada. The excavator was once used by the Orpheus company as a way to dig up the crust of the exoplanet. When the digging operations went underground, the machine became obsolete to the company. For this reason, our scavenger decided to make one of the vehicles as his secret hideout, seeing that no one will probably notice him there. You can see the interior of this vehicle in the main menu of the game. From it, you can probably notice that the space is pretty small, barely enough to have a bed and a working bench from where Scav can study the ores and make crude repairs of the gadgets and armor that he brings from the countless excursions. The first step into the mines of Charybdis is the surface of the mines. Here the amount of guard presence is kept to a minimal, probably because there's nothing deemed worthy to be protected and guarded in this sector. The first level of the mines is called Upper Crust. During the day, this place is filled with contract workers who extract, refine and prepare the Grimite for manufacturing into different products. When night falls, the contractors are replaced with guards, who patrol for any thieves that dare enter the place. The security mainly consists of contract soldiers. From some of the voice lines, we can gather that they don't really enjoy their job that much.
All I did was knock over some equipment. And they're gonna dock my pay? Unfreaking believable. I really need a raise. Same shit, different day. I can't believe I signed up for this. You know I only make minimum wage down here, right? I need a break. If one of these things breaks down again, I swear.
From the sound of it, this Orpheus company treats pretty poorly its workers, seeing that the guards get paid the minimum required and are worked to the bone during their shifts. Funny thing is that in the official artbook of the game, it is stated that the guards are provided with the healthcare, but any cost that comes from it, it gets deducted directly from their payroll. Truly a ruthless and capitalistic company at its core, which tries to maximize its profits by cutting corners and exploiting their workers. During the various expeditions in the mines, you will find terminals that can be interacted with. On them, you can listen to some voice messages that have been left behind by the workers of this facility. The first recording that we can find was made by one of the guards of the mines. He states,
Lucas, please make sure you get the security report in by 0400 this time. I don't want Grim's daughter breathing down my neck again. He's scary.
For the most part, this message is just regular chatter between two guards who are on patrol duty and doing for the most part their job. There is though an important line. During this short recording, the guard mentions the name Grimstottir, which brings shivers down his spine. From how he speaks about this person, it seems that he is someone who we should keep an eye out for, because it seems that he is higher up in the chain of command of the guards. On the next sub-level of Layer 1, we find this peculiar recording.
Edith, I sent over yesterday's geoanalysis. The Grimidor is exceptionally pure here. No wonder Orpheus wanted to expand. As if the strongest metal known to man couldn't get any stronger. Here we are.
One thing to note that wasn't mentioned in the recording but it is written in the official art book of the game is that this material is highly sought after by governments and mega corporations for its great utility and weaponry. Before the discovery of the massive deposit on the exoplanet of Charybdis, this material was exceedingly rare. This discovery can be seen as a curse and a blessing for humankind. New discoveries always bring new innovations for our species, but that doesn't mean it's always beneficial for us humans, since that this material is used in the making of weapons. I really doubt that the Orpheus company doesn't deal with such developments itself, since that their company reputation is one of greed and maximizing profits, plus it already developed the Grimite armor that the guards use during their night shift. After this small revelation about Orpheus, we can take the elevator and reach sub-level 3, where we find the last recording of this layer.
Hey V, I've attached a new protocol for the cameras they want us to implement ASAP. Security's obviously been tightening lately, but apparently it's not enough. What are we even guarding down here? It can't just be the Grimite, right?
Once again, we hear the same researcher from before. We learned that the security cameras got a new upgrade, which is probably the alarm sound they make when we pass through them, or the infrared vision. We probably became such a nuisance for the company that they decided to upgrade their security system, so they can deal with us much more easily, though this isn't the most important line of dialogue in my opinion. The scientist mentions that the security tightened up lately. For what reason, she can't say with certainty, but from the looks of it, Orpheus is trying to protect something much more valuable than the Grimite on this exoplanet. At the next stop, we reach a long corridor, where a figure stands in front of many TV displays. If we approach them, this will happen.
You did well last time, but not well enough. Why do you keep coming back?
I have a job to do.
Then you better do it right.
It's Trevor Grimstottir, in the flesh. He's a hulking beast of a man, and the head of security of this facility. Makes sense why the guards feared this man. Realistically, he's probably going to be the first real roadblock of the game, because he hits fast and hard, plus he has a lot of HP that you need to chip away. Your first encounter with this man will probably result in an almost immediate knockout, since that you will probably panic or have difficulty in reading his attack timing. So before jumping in a new run to try and beat him, I would suggest that you try out the training option in the main menu. Here you can safely learn the attack patterns of the bosses and maybe even create strategies to employ when fighting them. After this short tangent, I think we can talk about Grimstottir attack patterns. His most basic attacks are one normal swing from the right, left or up down or upward slash with his pick. Sometimes though, he can combo up together two of these attacks, or even add an additional slash swing to catch you off guard. Another interesting attack is his pickaxe throw. He usually performs this attack when you're too distant from him. After the throw, you should never stand behind the pickaxe, because Grimstottir can recall it back like Thor's hammer, and you can lose a point of HP if the pickaxe collides with you, so be careful. A thing that you probably already noticed about the boss is that he has an additional blue health bar under the yellow one. This extra HP is his armor. When his armor is active, he loses almost no HP and he cannot be juggled or stunned by concussion grenades or taser shots, though they do chip away his armor when hit by it. Another thing to add is that all bosses in this game cannot be staggered by a simple parry attack, but they need to be parried 3 times to briefly stun them. The main premise of this boss fight is extreme aggressiveness, since that his armor replenishes whenever you are not punching him or kicking him.
There may be hope after all. won't hold back. Show me what you got, kid!
You probably didn't expect this, but all bosses have a secondary phase, which makes them more aggressive and they start using their signature attack that plays a pretty gnarly animation if hit by it. Alright, I think it's time to put down this hulking beast of a man once and for all.
I have a job to do.
Let it be for nothing.
I expected more from you.
Our next stop is the Metric Undergrowth area. The first thing that will probably pop out in this sector are these weird glowing orange cells that are on the walls and floor of the mines. To find out more about them, we can listen to the fourth recording that we can find on the first sub-level of this area.
Isaac, did you read the last report from Bio? It's insane, it just doesn't add up. Simply put, the Metric cells are putting out too much power. Like, way too much. The ratio from mass to power storage and output just dwarfs any form of energy we've been able to harness. Just one cell could power a small city for a year. Where are they getting all this power?
This audio tape confirms to us that these things are indeed some sort of cellular organism that can store an insane amount of energy inside themselves. Just one of them could power a whole small city for an entire year. Imagine what 100 or 1000 could accomplish for us humans. We probably wouldn't struggle anymore with the energy crisis for at least another century, or even a millennium with this kind of energy in our hands, and probably every household and continent in our planet would have access to this kind of energy, seeing that it's quite abundant on this exoplanet. Unfortunately, this kind of power fell in the worst kinds of hands, a mega corporation. They are here to profit out of the lucrative situation they just found themselves in, and to probably gatekeep this research to themselves as much as they can. Additionally, even though these things are probably not sentient, seeing that they are cells, they are still living organisms that are already being dissected and experimented on from the looks of it. It never ends well when humanity fucks around with organisms of alien nature, since that they are usually horribly mishandled and treated by us. As per usual, in the next level of the mines, we will find a new voice message on one of the computers of the mines. This time though, the voice is much less calm and composed than normally.
Good God, Andrea, please let me know when you're going on break. Archer is seriously starting to get on my nerves, and if I don't bet about it, I'm gonna weld this filter shut. Okay, first question. What was Orpheus thinking? Handing our delicate prototype to that tool? If that Matrix cell decides to go critical because he pushed it too far, don't expect me to go running for that kill switch.
Well, from what we just heard, Orpheus is already doing extremely dangerous and risky experimentations with these cells. Thanks to the recording, we can extrapolate two important details. Firstly, from the sound of it, they have found a massive cell that stores an immense amount of energy. This can be deduced by two things. From how the scientist is frantically talking, the cell was close enough to cause an explosion, and not one of small proportions from the sound of it. Moreover, the scientists used the adjective that and not a, signifying that this is a particular cell and not one of the regular ones we found during our ventures. Secondly, Orpheus already developed a prototype of some sorts, which uses the energy of the cell. Knowing their track record, this prototype is most likely an extremely dangerous weapon that for some reason is being wielded by a child who doesn't even know that they are treading a perilous line between life and death. After this small revelation, we can move to the third sub-level of the Metric Undergrowth. As per usual, we can once again find a recording left by a male scientist that left a message to one of his co-workers.
What's up, Thomas? Supervisor's got me working analysis today. God, I hate cutting these things open. Don't get me wrong, I'm not squeamish. I'm just worried about blowing up or something. I don't know about you, but that canary in a coal mine feeling has been getting a little too literal lately.
From it we gain no new information about the mines or Orpheus, but we do get a bit of insight on the life and work of the various scientists that experiment on the extremely explosive metric cells. I think that probably flew under the radar for a lot of viewers is the saying canary in a coal mine. This wording is used to signify an early warning of danger. The origin of the expression is literal, seeing that historically canaries were used to test for carbon monoxide and other toxic gases in underground mines. Pretty fitting use of words, seeing that we are in a mine full of ticking bombs attached to the walls and floors. After gathering the elevator access card of this floor, we reached sub-level B, where someone is waiting for us.
I hope you know you got lucky last time. This suit, this power, you can't take it from me. I'll show you. Not to mess with me!
I always knew you'd never learn.
Aaron Archer, a cocky brat with quite the attitude. He's an elite contract guard, who's extremely proficient in CQC, and is the first subject of the Metric prototype weapon, called Metric Augmented Combat Suit, or in short, MAX. As you can see, the prototype is a suit and a long pole, powered by a battery containing a metric cluster, which is periodically stimulated to release energy to enhance the user's strength and resistance to external forces. In the center of the arena, we can see the enormous metric cell that was mentioned in one of the recordings. From the looks of it, the cell is connected to an electronic apparatus and a giant metal throne, which is probably a sort of charging port used to recharge the MAX suit that Aaron Archer wears. You probably are asking yourself, how in the flying fuck did a kid like him gain access to such a deadly and sophisticated tech? There are two theories. Firstly, Aaron Archer is an extremely skilled martial artist, and the company wanted to see if his combat prowess could be enhanced further by the MAX suit. On the other hand, it is speculated that the engineers gave it to him because they predicted a high possibility of the suit blowing up, and if anyone should face such a fate, it should be none other than Aaron Archer. From the looks of it, the experimentation wasn't pain-free. For his first phase, Aaron Archer basic moveset kit consists of different swipe and slash attacks with his staff. If you get too far from him, he will use his so-called metric cannon move. Pretty much he will shoot a big laser beam with his metric powered staff. The gimmick of this boss fight is extreme patience and a good understanding of the dodge and parrying mechanic. This is because of Aaron MAX suit, which gives him such speed that he will be able to predict all of your attacks. There is a catch though. The prototype suit is prone to heating up if used extensively. The suit can heat up in two ways. Whenever Aaron Archer performs an attack, his hit percentage goes up. The other way is through the usage of taser bolts.
I'm not done. I need more. Now this is power!
In his second phase, Aaron Archer will use his suit to its fullest potential and be much more aggressive with his attacks. From time to time he will start to teleport around the arena, so he can get a cheeky hit on you by teleporting behind you or beside you. A new move that he employs in this stage is a sort of mule kick, which sends you flying through the wall behind you. Finally, we have reached the Executive Operations area, or as the developers have nicknamed it, the Den of Wolves. Compared to the other stages of the game, this one is much more sterile and bright. From the many test tubes, electronic devices, and tables with tool and unique gadgets, we can assume that this is a sort of research and development area, where a lot of engineers and scientists test and create new contraptions with the newfound resources of the exoplanet. As per usual, on the first level of Executive Operations we can find a computer with the following recording.
Ellen, just finished this week's tear weapon test. As expected, the modifications we made now more consistently tear rounds closer to the expected MOA of the platform. I should reiterate that this is extremely unstable technology we're playing with. Uncle Sam isn't going to want to buy a gun that teleports bullets into their own soldiers. On the plus side, the complete negation of armor is proving as effective as it sounds. I've already sent in a request for low-caliber fragmenting ammunition, since, as of now, penetration is a non-factor. Whether it's Kevlar or a solid brick wall, doesn't matter. The bullet's already in them.
If the different prototypes that really look like weapons, and the firing range close to the terminal with the recording haven't given the idea of what was being experimented down in this sector, I think that the recording solidified all of the theories we could have had on what was going on in this place. As the male scientist said, Orpheus is experimenting with the possible case use of third module technology with firearms. From the looks of it, they successfully developed a weapon which is capable of completely nullify the protection that Kevlar offers. The third module technology could have stayed as a simple teleporting bomb, which could theoretically save a lot of lives during a mine collapse thanks to its ability to remove rubble without causing another collapse or injuring the people trapped inside the mine. But no, Orpheus had to fuck around with it and make a little product out of it. Going to the next level, we'll find this spine-chilling recording.
Alex, I'm starting to freak out a little. Everyone keeps telling me it's tectonic activity, but we've seen no evidence of that on Charybdis. Ever since they moved me down here, I've noticed the tremors getting stronger, more rhythmic. Sometimes, I swear it falls in sync with my heartbeat.
Compared to the other audio logs, this one leaves us with a lot of questions than answers. What could even cause such tremors that the workers of Charybdis can detect, if not some sort of tectonic activity? An extremely odd detail is that the voice described them as rhythmic in nature, like breathing or a pulsating heart. Really makes you wonder if something of sentient nature lurks in the depths of this barren exoplanet. In sub-level 3 of Executive Operations, we can find the last audio log of the game, which contains some important details.
Hey Nate, I looked through the personnel archives like you suggested, and I noticed something weird. There's a discrepancy in the number of guards stationed at Catabase 6. One short. According to the database, there's one person who toured with us to Charybdis and doesn't appear on the directory. Weirdest thing though, is that it looks like their file's been completely wiped and redacted. Did they just up and quit? How do they plan on getting back to Earth?
As the voice stated, the guard personnel is one person short, and from what he gathered, he tore off from the company. For what purpose, it isn't anywhere stated, but there are three possible reasons. Firstly, the guard maybe wasn't satisfied with the amount of payment he was receiving, and because of this, he decided to up and quit his job. It's a reasonable theory, though this wouldn't explain why his file is redacted. Secondly, the guard could have been killed by some sort of freak accident because of the different prototype testing going around the mines or for some other reason. This is a valid theory in my opinion, because it would neatly connect with the file reduction and the no way to go back to Planet Earth problem. Lastly, it could have been possible that the person was horrified by the horrible and disgusting experiments Orpheus was conducting, and for this reason decided to up and quit his job as soon as they discovered the terrible truth. From all the horrors he witnessed, he probably felt such guilt that they didn't have the guts to return back to Earth.
Here you are again. Are you ready to talk now? There are much more productive ways to settle this. Fists are far from the best method of communication. Wouldn't you agree?
I happen to think they carry a message pretty clearly.
I see. Then let's have ourselves a chat.
Elizabeth Orpheus, founding and standing CEO of Orpheus Technologies. Do not let her businesswoman appearance deceive you, because she is an extremely proficient fighter in CQC combat, seeing that she was trained in a variety of martial arts by elite fighters around planet Earth. As you can see, she doesn't have a secondary health bar. This is because this boss' unique ability ties in with her attacks. She can hit you in two ways, with some nasty kicks that will inflict 1 point of damage and sometimes make you fly against one of the walls, or she can dish out some consecutive punches, which won't deal any damage to you if they connect, but will heal a percentage of her health. Even though the punches don't do any damage to you, they're the deadliest weapon in her arsenal. If hit by one of them, she will stun lock you into position and regain a lot of her health back. Whenever this happens, you only got two options. Realistically, you try to move away as far away as possible from her, so no punch will connect, or the more ballsy and risky approach is to just parry every single one like a madman, so this requires extreme concentration and good knowledge on the boss. Another notable thing is her standoff form. Sometimes in combat her glasses will glint and she will start walking around you, like a predator seizing up his prey. In this mode she cannot get hit in any way. If you try, she will block your attack and retaliate with punches or a swift kick. Lastly, her boss fight cannot be cheesed through a heavy use of taser darts. This is because she can dodge them and even throw them back at you, if on high hit. Usually a good time to use it is when she is starting to perform an attack on you, seeing that she will be in a state that won't let her dodge attacks. The main theme of this boss is extreme patience. The reason for this is that Elizabeth Orpheus, compared to the other bosses and guards, does not regenerate her health back if you don't hit her for a while.
I see. Then let's have ourselves a chat. I know who you are.
Who the hell do you think you are? You're nothing! Just a rat I scraped off the pavement!
Weak and predictable.
Sacrificed too much to let us end here!
Alright, enough! What do you want, money? That's why you came to this wretched planet, isn't it?
Money won't cut it anymore. You know I am here.
You don't understand. I can't shut this facility down.
Bullshit.
No, this isn't the bottom of Cannabis 6. It goes deeper. Wait, stop! Where are you going?
Deeper. What the hell? What the hell? What is this? What is this?
Wait, let's rewind a little bit. After beating Elizabeth Orpheus, we learn from her that the CEO room is in the bottom of Catabase 6. With this new information, Scav decides to take an elevator to reach the deepest levels of these wretched mines. After arriving at the bottom of the mines, we can go through a passage. We will find some metric cores that look completely different from the ones found on layer 2. Moving forward, Scav will reach a massive room where he will get body slammed by a figure. The figure in question is a guard, but something is extremely wrong. The guard has the same texture and color of the metric cells down here. After this brief yet shocking interaction, we'll start an enemy rush fight against these horrifying clone guards, while the metric core in the center of the room starts to overload itself. An interesting thing to note is that the slimy clones are being dropped from the ceiling, almost like the metric cells on the roof are generating them. Well, this is because they are doing exactly that. This tells us that these cellular beings are actually sentient and can analyze and copy with great precision other species by just watching them. From the looks of it, the cellular biomass isn't pleased with our present and how it's being treated. Because of these countless crimes, the organism decided to retaliate by creating the clone guards that could be seen as a sort of immune cells who are here to eradicate the harmful bacteria in its system. After an intense fight with the metric replica guards, Scav will run back to the elevator, but unfortunately something else got there before him. It's the Wrath of Charybdis, the Abyssal Scavenger.
What the hell? What the hell? What is this? What is this?
It seems that the metric organism really wants to take you down with it, in any way possible, and who else to pitch a fight against you but a carbon copy of yourself, seeing that you defeated everyone else during the descent into the mines. Truly a clever organism if you ask me. I won't talk much about this boss fight, seeing that he is a carbon copy of you, and if you know the weaknesses and strengths of Scav, then you know his weak points too. Two important questions remain unanswered though. Who is Scav and why is he doing all of this? Scav isn't a regular scavenger who is trying to find the riches of the mines, but actually they were an ex-worker of the mines, more specifically one of the many guards stationed at Catabase 6. The amount of evidence suggesting this is large, so let's start with the least obvious one, the close combat prowess. His skill in secrecy is not one of a low-level thug, but of someone who got trained by some sort of martial artist or military trainer. Furthermore, the dialogue from the elite guards and Elizabeth Orpheus reinforces this theory.
Look who came crawling back. You were never one of us.
I thought they killed you.
You've seen what we're making down here. It scares you, doesn't it?
Do you think this will fix what you've done? What we've all done? Don't you remember why you came here? You're no different from the rest of us!
Lastly, the most damning piece of evidence is from the last voice message recording we can find. The voice stated that there is a discrepancy in the number of guards, seeing that they are one short, and who else would fit perfectly such role than none other our friend Scav. But why would anyone risk their own life to do all of this? Well, the answer is quite simple. Scav was disgusted by what Orpheus is doing on this exoplanet, so they decided to fight against this tyrannical system, even if they have to do it alone. Scav knew that what he was witnessing was barbaric and inhumane in many different ways, from developing instruments for war to exploiting and experimenting on the sentient ecosystem of the exoplanet. Scav probably have had enough of all of this injustice and decided to take matters in their own hands, even if it meant that they couldn't return back to Earth. I think that the main message of the game is that you should always try walking on the righteous path, even if the whole world is against you, because even if you can't reach the so-called metaphorical goal of a better future for all humanity, you can at least sleep well, knowing that you tried bringing some sort of change in the oppressive world you live in, and maybe even inspire others to rebel against this system.
Dig somewhere else.
Hey, you reached the end of the video. Really hope you enjoyed every minute of it. Once again, if you're interested in raw metal, I will leave 2 links from where you can purchase the game and support these awesome developers. This is your host, Janmark118, and I'm signing off.